So for the last video in this short series, I thought I would ask Denise because God did a work in her heart in being able to let go of the anger and the resentment towards the murderers of her parents. But there might be some women listening to this thinking something's happened in my life where that situation is so large that perhaps you haven't yet been able to deal with the grief like Denise was able to and mourn her parents. Because in situations like this and other horrific situations where there's a perpetrator, a murderer, a rapist, an abuser, when there's somebody that's acted unlawfully, why is it so important? And how do you ask God? What do you ask God if you are struggling to get over that, the thing that's weighing on you so that you can't yet deal with the trauma? What advice would you give to somebody who's experienced something devastating and they're still stuck in that place?
I think that's where you have to turn to the Word, because it's only God that can take that unforgiveness away. And you know that beautiful parable that Jesus told of the man, a man owed this rich man money, or the king, I forget what it was, and he went to the king and pleaded, and he was forgiven for his debt, and yet he went out and put somebody else in prison because they owed him a debt. And Jesus said, I will forgive you if you forgive others, and as you forgive them, so I will forgive you. And I think I clung to the Word during that time, and I read so many beautiful scriptures, not necessarily about forgiveness, but it just eased my heart. And some of the Psalms, and even some of the imprecatory Psalms where David says, why, Lord, why is this happening to me? But his questions were directed to the right person, to God. So
And
you're
even
never going to get an answer.
No, and even if the person is not brought to trial, or we don't always see justice in this country, certainly, and in this world. But I think if we know the scriptures, things like the Lord is the one that deals with our offenses, and what happens to us in our world is actually even more important to Him. And we know that He is more just than our justice system, and being able to trust that His word says that He will deal justly. And if we don't see it now, just to be able to go to the Lord and to trust Him to deal with it, even if you don't get the justice on this earth, because if we carry it and we can't let it go, I think it can, like you said, it can make our hearts so darkened, and it eventually colors every part of our life.
And it can eat away at you.
Yeah.
So that you're not the person that you should be, that God created you to be.
And I think the thing for me, for the first time hearing this, the most powerful part of the story is being able to have appropriately grieved your parents' death, because that's actually the worst of it, is that they passed away and you had to lose them. But you needed to be able to grieve that. And when you're still carrying the burden of the injustice, you can't grieve.
No, that is true.
And how long would it have taken? How long would you be delaying that process? But it's not easy, and I just think going to the Lord for His help to even heal your heart is the only thing that we can often do, but it is the right thing, because He's the only one who can. And you can see the evidence of that in your own life. He did a miraculous work of healing in your journey. So I hope that encourages some of you to go to the Lord with whatever it is you're carrying, and that He would be your help in time of need, like He says He will be. Thank you for listening, and thanks, Denise, for sharing this part of your story. Bye for now.